Hello guys, welcome to this part video. This is a continuation video of the project 0 times 01 variable if s y. I did a video, part 1 video about this project. I'll drop the link of that video in the description of this video. So if you are coming across this video, it's just a continuation of the previous video, part 1 of this project. So this is the second part, and I'm going to continue from where we stopped. Right? We stopped here. Okay, so we are going to continue from here. Again, since we started executing this with code block and all of that, so we are going to continue exact same thing in this particular video. So we're going to look at the first question and look at how possible we can tackle it and execute what we have here. Write a program that prints the alphabet in lowercase followed by a new line. Print all letters except Q and E, and you can only use this. So this is it. You can go through the question so that you understand why we have what we have. By the way, let me just split this, and then I'll get a sandbox from here. And I'll move my sandbox here. So that's just a simple step so that we have, we can work on both windows at the same time. Both windows we appear at the same spot. So this is it. Let me just set this up. Alright, so I have a web term now, and I'll just cd root. Then I'll go ahead and do cd into all of this repo as well as the directory. So I'll do cd and I'll put this here, paste this. Again, I'll do cd into the directory variable if sy. And I'll pick this and I'll come back here. Alright, so I'm into the directory and all of the repository. So you can see that. So I believe you can see what is happening here. Alright, so let's see how far we can go and what we can do in this particular one. So look at the next question. Write a program that prints the alphabet in lowercase followed by a new line. So what we are going to do right about now is to come back here and do vi, then the file name. Okay, so this is the file. So I'll just pick it from here and come back here and put it in. I'll hit enter, and then this is it. This is what we have here. All right. Again, this is the header file. Okay, it's more like, it's called a preprocessor directive that is used whenever we use a function in our program. In this case, we are using the pucha function. So to use the pucha function, we have to declare a directive for that function. That is why we are using this include standard input output.h. So please, I want you to pay close attention, because this is when I will explain what is happening here. I may not have to do that in a detailed format in the other tags. Then this is, I said this is the preprocessor directive that is included whenever we want to use a function. At this point, we are using the pucha function. Okay, so that is why we are including this header file, standard input output.h. There are different types. We have standard lib, we have standard lib.h, and other header files, but in this case we are using pucha function. This is the header files that controls that. Here we have the comment which is Betty compliant. This comment, okay. This is the function name, right? And this is what we have here. And for this, you can edit this and of course customize it to what you want. You can say entry point where my program starts. All right, you could just customize that and put that, provided you have this and this main and it corresponds to this function name here. You can customize this. Then you have your return. You can customize this text too. You can customize it. Always 0, success, and all whatnot. You can use them here. All right. So what I'm trying to let you know, it's not compulsory you write every single thing that you see here. This one you can customize. Okay. So here, this is the function. This is the function name. This is the function name, and this function we are seeing integer here, int. It means that this function main should return the integer data type. That is what this main, this main, the function main should return the integer data type at the end of the day. And you are seeing a void here. This simply represents or mean that for a function, there are no arguments or parameters passed into the function. Again, you can remove this void, right? You can remove this and leave it empty, and it will still do the same thing. It will mean that the function is void and there are no arguments or parameters passed into the function. So here, again for this, we declared a variable. We declared a variable. I believe you can see this, or we'll have to zoom in a little. Okay. Here we declared a variable, and we call that variable, we declare a character variable, and we call that variable C. All right. Again, you can, I think if they didn't indicate, there was nowhere they said we only have the permission to use C as our variable name. Okay, that means you can choose any other thing for your variable. All right, you can choose anything of your choice for your variable name. All right, so we declare this variable of data type character, and here we initialized our variable to be A. I believe you can see this. This is a character variable. We called it C. Again, you are at liberty to choose any name of your choice. Then we initialize that variable to be A. We are using this because it's a character variable. All right. So we initialize it to be A. Then we use the while loop. We'll use the while loop to outline our condition And take note, there are some specified conditions that we put here. All right. So one of them is print all the numbers except Q and E. You can only use pucha function. That is why, of course, we use pucha here. We use pucha here. We use it twice, I think. Yep. You use pucha here. And again, it was indicated that you can only use pucha function twice in your code. So that is all what you see here. We're just trying to stick to the rules that we are given. Okay? So here we used the condition we gave to our program was that while C, this variable we declared, while C is less than or equal to Z, as long as C is less or equal to Z, and the condition is if C is not equal to Q and C is not equal to A, and C is less than or equal to Z, pucha C. So this is just a set of conditions that obey this. You remember they said print all the letters except Q and E. So we are just trying to print the alphabet to exclude these two letters. So this condition we put here, this if statement, is trying to exclude these two alphabets from whatever we are going to print at the end of the day. So that's what you have here. Okay? That's what we have here. And C, as long as C is less or equal to Z, you know, pucha. So as long as it's less than or equal to Z, then you have to print the value of C, and after printing, it checks and increment. After it increments, then go back again, check this condition, and it keep incrementing as long as C is less than Z. All right, less or equal to Z. As soon as C gets to Z, then the program stops running. Then you have what you have here. You have pucha new line. So here they told us that followed by a new line. So we have to obey this instruction. That's why we use this one here. The return simply tell us, okay, that our program have run successfully. Return 0 shows that our program have run successfully. So at the end of the day, this is what we have. So once you are done with this, you can do your escape :WQ. But before I quickly do that, let me show you something on CodePen, which is an external ID different from your webcam or whatever you're using in the program. This an ID where I chose to kind of illustrate what we are doing here. Okay, so all right, yeah, this is it. I wanted you to see how this works in a different environment. That is why I added this. So this is what I explained earlier. All right, so let's try that. Build and run, and all right. So you can see that this actually did work. All right, so you can see that we have the alphabet printed out without what? Without E and Q. There are no E and Q. So that is it. Again, you can see there are different versions of the code we have there, but that works the same way. So I could just go ahead and open this, and you see that this is a different version. Instead of the while loop we use here we use the while loop here. Here we use the for loop. So here is, okay, we declared it as C2, the variable, we declared our variable here 2 as C. Then we use the for loop. For C equals A, we initialize C to be A. As long as C is less than Z, then increment C, C++. And we gave the if statement to satisfy the other condition, that C is not, when C is not equal to Q and C is not equal to E, put your C. So your guess is as good as mine that this second statement is used to exclude Q and E from the alphabet we are going to print. So this is for the first statement, then put your C, then put your new line and return 0, which shows that our program have run successfully. So let's build and run this second code. So I'm just trying to show you that you can actually do this in more than one way. You can do it using while loop, while do loop, for loop, and the other. So let me try and build and run if we'll get the same result. So as you can see, this actually gave us, we actually got the same result. Okay? So the same result, print alphabet without excluding letter Q and E. So that's what I wanted you to see. And again, you have these two. You use the do while loop here. And if I build and run, you see this actually worked the same way too. All right, you see this worked too. So you can write your own code from this more like this direction you have gotten. You can write your own code. So back to my web term, back to VI. So once you are done with putting in your code, I've showed you different versions you can use. Then you do your escape, column WQ, you exit VI, then you hit enter. So we'll get back here and do your git add dot, you hit enter, then you do your git commit. I'm not adding again, I've pushed this code to GitHub already. So you did do git commit. You can use any message of your choice. Update, I'll just use update here. You hit enter, then you do your git push. You do your git push and you hit enter. That will push your code to the remote. So once you're done with that, you could just go back here and check your code to see how it works. So I'll come here, right, I'll check that code to see how it works. But right before then, what do we have here? Why all of this GCC work? This one too will help us to, to check like what we did in code blocks some seconds back or some seconds back. This one is to check, all right, to check to see the content of what you have, if it is the same as what you have here. So you could take this and run it on your terminal. So you could run this on your terminal. Just pick that and paste it here. You see what I copied? You paste it here, and if you hit enter, it's going to create an executable file called for print output. You can use ls to list that file. Let me just continue. Then after you do that, then you are going to show or output the content of that file using /for-print _alphabet. So if I copy this and paste it here, you see if I hit enter, I believe you can see this, right? So it's going to show this to me. You see the content printed out in that nice manner. So yes, so I believe this is clear enough for you to get. Then you can do git add and all of that. So once you push, then you come back here and you check your code. All Alright, so these are checked. So this, we move to the next one quickly. Write a program that prints all single-digit numbers of base 10 starting from 0 followed by a new line. So again, I'll go ahead and pick this. I'll put it here and oh, sorry, I have to put in VI. Okay, I'll hit enter, and this is it. These are code. Again, I will not have to explain this. I've done that countless of times. All right. So your header and your comment. So this is the program. This is the main program, and we have a function which we call main2 that will return an integer data type, and it's void. Like I said, you can remove this void and just use the empty, use the bracket without including. It also means the same thing. Then we have an integer. We declared our variable and we called it a. Again, there's nowhere in the question where they specify that you must use a as your variable. So that gives you the liberty to choose your variable name. All right, to choose your variable name. So you can choose any variable name you want here and use it in the program. So this is a program that prints all single-digit numbers of base 10 starting from 0 followed by a new line. So what we are doing here, we used a for loop, and we said as long as a is equals to 0 and a is less than 10, increment a++, print the next letter. All right. So printf percentage d. This is called format specifier. This is a format specifier. All right. This is called format specifier for this line. And what are we specifying? We are specifying the decimal data type, which is more of an integer. Okay. All right. There are other types of format specifier. You can use %C. All right. You can use the string. You can use %P. You can use I, %I, which is synonymous to decimal. Okay. I and D are almost same. Then, after putting in that, then you put in the variable name. In this case, we used a, and we added that here. So butcher all that in a new line, then return 0, shows that the program have successfully executed. So before any other, let me just show you. Again, we have 3 versions of this code here. All right, no, this one is out. We have 3 versions of this code here. So if I click on this, this is what I showed you earlier, the for loop, the one that uses for loop. You can just look at this, all right? Then we have another version that uses a while loop to tell you that there's no one way to write it, this do while. So we use for loop, while loop, and do while loop to execute, execute that program, okay? So we are going to run each of them to prove to you that all of them will actually give us the same result. So I'll come here, build and run, you see, 0 to 9, all right? So that is supposed to be the output of our program. I'll come here, build and run, the same thing, the same thing. And I'll come here, build and run, gives us exactly the same result. So that's to tell you, okay, there are different ways you can actually accomplish all these things. So I'll come here, exit, column, WQ to save and quit. Then you can come here and do your git add dot git commit. Your commit message, you put that, let's say update, and you hit enter. Then you can go ahead and do what? And do your git push and hit enter. So once you have done that, you have successfully pushed to the remote. Again, you can go ahead, check this part with your GCC, copy this and put it here. All right, hit enter. Then once you are done, you put this in. It's going to print this for you to show the output. If it's correct, if what you have is same thing as you have here, if your own is the same thing as you have here, that means you are correct. So after doing that, you can go ahead and check your code like I'm doing now. So you see, the checks are all correct. I'll close this and we'll move to the next one. 6. Write a program that prints all single-digit number of base 10 starting from 0 followed by a new line. So again, I'll pick this file name from here. Okay, sorry, I'll need to use VI. Paste that. If I come here, so this is it, guys. Again, of course, you already understood what I said about here. We only use one header file, standard input.output.h, because we are using the function pucha. So back to the program itself. Again, the program name, the function name is main, which is returning an integer data type of which is void. There are no parameters or argument passed into this. So we declared the variable called C. This time again, you can, like I said, declare your own variable and use it in your program. It mustn't be C, it can be something else, it can be T, it can be M, wherever you want to declare, because you are given the liberty to do that. There's nowhere in the question that say you must use C. So you initialize C as 0, then we use the while loop. All right, here we stated that as long as C is less than 10, pucha C plus 0, then increment C++. Remember, our question says always ensure you check the question time and again so that you will not make a mistake. 1. Use pucha twice. Okay, did we do that? Yes, I think we did. We used pucha twice. Then you are not allowed to use any variable and use any variable of type car. So did we use that? No, we used the integer variable. So that's how you ensure you follow all of this rule. Your code should be in the main function. That is, they are telling us that our function have to be main. So did we do that? Yes, we used the main function. So our function name was main. So this is it, guys. We wrote a program that prints all single digit of base 10 starting from 0 followed by a new line. At the end of the day, this program will return 0, which specifically show that as the end. The program executed successfully. Back to code blocks, we are going to show you what we have, different versions. Okay, I have 2 versions here. This is the while loop. The while loop we showed you earlier. Okay, then this is, you can use for loop too. So we use for loop here, which of course the same condition that as long as C is 0, initialize C as 0, and as long as C is less than 10, C++, then you pucha C plus 0, and pucha again in a new line and return 0, which shows. So let's run it. Let's run it, starting with this while loop. So if I come here and build a run, all right, you see that we give us this 0 to 9, all right? And again, the second one, build a run. So the same output we had, all right? So see the same output. So different versions of the same code giving you the same what? The same result. So just come back. Again, you see the output here. So if you want to get this, to check if you have that on your part, you can, let me just exit. Shift column WQ, save and quit, and now exit VI. If you want to check if you have that, you can copy this GCC, paste it here, then hit enter, come back to check your output, then paste this and hit enter. If you got this, that means you are correct. So After doing all of this, you do your git add, git commit, as well as git push, and you come back to check. I've done that already, guys. I've pushed this code. You come back to check, and checks are running. You see, it's all correct. This all correct. So I'll close this out and come back here. Write a program that prints the lowercase alphabet in reverse, followed by a new line. Print the alphabet, lowercase in reverse. So again, we copy the file name, and I'll come here and do vi, and I'll put that here. If I hit enter, it's going to take me here again, the same thing. And take note, once again they said all your code should be in the main function. That means that I must use the main function name, the main as my function name. We use the while loop here. We declared this variable declaration. We declared C variable name. You must not use C. You can use any other alphabet of your choice. Then we declared initialize C to Z. It started with Z. All right. The initial value of C is Z. So while C is greater than or equal to A, all right, put C and C minus minus. That is to tell you that after it prints, all right, it decrements, the value decrement. How does that do that? If we are starting to print from Z, all right, the next value, the previous value, to satisfy this condition, C minus minus, the previous value will be what? Y. Then after Y, X, I think, just like that, it's printed backward. So put n and return 0 to show that our program have executed successfully. Again, let's illustrate with code blocks. Let's see, okay, we just have one version. So this is it, the while loop, and let's text it, build and run. So I believe you can see this. It's printing this in reverse, Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T. So print alphabetic gets to A. So that's what we have. And close this out again. After you put in, you can do your exit, column, shift column, WQ, save and quit, like you have here. Again, you see this output. This is what you are supposed to get. So you can check that out without what I've showed you using GCC code. And once you are done with all of this, you can do your git add, git commit, git add dot git commit, and push. So once you push, you can come back and check your code. All right, this checks is running, and as you can see, this is correct. It's all correct. So I'll close this out again, and let's see what we have here. Write a program that prints. Write a program that prints all the numbers of base 16 in lowercase, followed by a new line. So these are the conditions, and at the end of the day, your output must correspond to this. Whatever you are using, whether you're using for loop, do while loop, or the while loop, your output have to be this. So this is your output, what you are supposed to get. Again, we copy this file name and go to VI, which is my favorite editor. VI, paste. Again, this is what you have. Okay, like we overflow this already. So this is the main program here. Like here we declared two variables. Declare two variables. One of them of the character data type, we called it C. You can choose anything you want to call it, because in your program, in your question, no, you were not asked to use any specific name. Okay, so you are at liberty to choose the name you want to use. Then we have another variable called of type integer, okay, called D. So at the end of this, we initialize our variable, the first C, variable C, as A, and the second one as 0. Of course, you know that you can do this all in one line. You can declare your variable as well as initialize it. What you can do is char C equals A and char D equals 0. So you can do that all in one line. Then we use the while loop to specify our conditions. 2 while loops here. Okay. Then what did we say? D, as long as D is less than 10, put char D plus 0, D plus plus, which is similar to what we did earlier. Okay. So as long as D is less than 10, do D plus 0, then D plus plus, and another while loop. As long as C is less than or equal to F, put char C, C plus plus, and that in a new line, and after that you execute the return 0 to show that our program have executed successfully. So let's see what we have here. We have different versions. We have seen while loop. Yes, this is the one I showed you earlier. Then this can be, you can use the for loop too. All right. Okay. Use both for and while loop. You use for loop for this first one, for D. All right, and then we use while loop here. Okay, so this is it. This is it. And again, let's see another pattern. Again, you can use the for loop. For loop. I think this is the shortest version of this. This is a shorter version. Okay, we initialize I. We declared I. Then we use a for loop to give the statement. All right, then we use the if statement here. Okay, so let's see if all of this will give us the same output. So for the first one, build and run. All right, so you see we got this, which corresponds to the output that we had there in the what they wanted us to get. So this build and run, again, yeah, we got something like that. Okay, it's fragmented. All right, then this, the last one, build and run. All right, so we got the exact same code. All right, this is it. So you see different codes, different versions, same output we can have. So once you're done with this, you will come back and come here and escape. Colon WQ, save and quit, and you hit enter. You can do git add, git commit, and git push to push your code to the remote. And once you have done that, like I said, I pushed this already, so you can check to see what you have. So you see this is all straight up and it's all correct. So we move to the next one. Write a program that prints all possible combination of single digit numbers. All right, so come here and pick this from here, use VI. This video I will be a little faster now so that I will not have the same length I have in the first one, more than 1 hour. So sometimes this thing, the explanation actually takes time, but again, we have to explain the code. So VI that, so this is it. I'll start, talking about this from here. So we declared an integer variable called A, and we use a for loop here. For A is equals to 0, remember we are writing a program that prints all possible combination of single digits. This is it. This is what you're supposed to get. All right. Single digit numbers should be printed in ascending order, and okay, main function use putchar 4 times. You are not allowed to use any variable of type char. So did we use variable of type char? No, we use the integer variable here. All right. So for A equals 0, A less than 10, A plus plus. So then putchar A plus 0, and we use the if statement. If A is less than 9, if A is less than what? 9. So in all of this, we are saying that as long as A is less than 10 in this condition, that will be 0. The first figure is 0, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. That's the last digit. A less than 10, the value less than 10 is 9. We stop there. So at this condition, this second condition, if A is less than 9, what happens? Put char, comma. So as long as A is less than 9, the value, you see, the first one 0, if added a comma, then put char, space. This shows is adding a space. All right. So as long as A is less than 9, put a comma and there add a space. Put a comma for the next one, add a space. Put a comma, add a space. Put a comma, add a space. Until it gets to what? Less than 9, which is what? 8. You see that as long as that is less than 9, which is 8, put a comma. You see that this last value, there was no comma after 9, because we specified that as long as A is less than 9, the immediate value less than 9 is 8. So I believe you understand that. Put a comma, add a space. Okay, so that's what we have there. And again, just to satisfy your curiosity, I will show you maybe another version of the same code. So here we use the for loop here. All right, you could look at that. Then here we use a do while loop, and here we use for loop. Okay, we use for loop twice, I think. Is that what we have? Okay, so you could build and run this to show you. All right, so the same output, 0 to 9. 0 to 9 printed in ascending order. So again, build and run. You see the same output here. 0 to 9 printed in ascending order. Then build and run too. So 0, that will give you that result. So that is it, guys. Different versions, same result. So I'll just start this. So once you are here, you can do your escape, column, escape, column, WQ, and yes, you can do your git add now, git add, git add.git commit, and git push. I've done that already. I pushed this code already. So once you are done with that, you can come back here and check your code. So it's running, and that's that. So for the other part, all right, I'll just go ahead and show you, because I'll kind of stop this video soon. So let me just quickly show you what we have. Come back here, do VI. I'll paste it, and if I hit enter, you see, this is what we have. We are printing 2-digit numbers. This is it, printing 2-digit numbers. All right. So if I go to code blocks, all right, this is it, and if I run it from here, you see the output, 2-digit number. So that is that. Come back here, do escape, column, WQ, and to satisfy you can do this. You run your GCC, just copy this and put there, and it will show you the output here. So you can do git add, git commit, and git push, and to send that to GitHub. So once you are done, you can come back here and check your code. All right, this is running, and you see it's all correct. The codes are correct. So I'll close this, and I'll quickly move to the next one. Okay, it's going to print this. 3-digit numbers. So pick this and I'll do VI. Have to rush this up because of time. So this is it. This is it. Printing 3-digit numbers. Printing 3-digit numbers. Not have all the time to really talk about this like I wanted to, but again, we could just see a snapshot of what we have here on code blocks. All right. So what do we have? This is dancing right now. Okay, let me quickly show you what we have here. Okay, this is it. And that's the code, and you can build and run. Alright, so 3-digit. So let me close this out. Then here you can do your escape, column, WQ, and save and quit, and do your git add, git commit, and git push. And once you are done with that, you can come here and check your code, and it's all correct. It's all correct. So for the last one, I'll just quickly do that before I end this video. Pick this and do my VI. All right. Take note, what we are printing 2-digit followed by a comma and that. Okay. So this is what you have, and once you have done that, you can do your escape, column, WQ. I want to. So this is it, guys. This is it. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Keep coding, and I'll see you in the next